All right, GM.
Yeah.
Me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, cool.
Let's wait for Skew. Maybe you want to show something in the meantime.
Yeah, still setting up my things. Just was in a hurry to catch here.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
I've just opened Bonk and Avalonk, and I'm thinking how I could hedge it.
Let me see. Let me
Kaito,
see.
Kaito is kind of tempting to short, but I don't know. It's so beaten.
Let's see. Haven't looked at Bonk in a while. Yeah, I mean, a lot depends from how BTC and ETH will recover from here. BTC looks like pretty constructive to me, at
Yeah,
least for for a bounce into maybe.
yeah. Liquidity is taken from both sides of the order book, basically.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, that's why I'm not certain yet where Bitcoin is moving. So I would rather hedge a bit here with some shorts. Not sure what I want to short yet, but I will find something in a minute.
Yep. So I'm really curious on Skew's view because mine is like the BTC with this 5% correction hit like basically the current demand zone, and I can see like a lot of hallmarks of buyers stepping in to defend these levels.
Yeah,
So the setup looks decent to me, at least in BTC. And yeah, I mean, if we can produce like a decent Friday close, yeah, weekend could be
yeah,
as busy as the previous ones for alts as well. Yeah.
man. Today's session is going to be so interesting. Like, uh, uh, Putin and Trump meeting in the evening.
Oh yeah, that's gonna shake up things for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's around the market close, so I would say yeah, I would hope like most of the moves happen in the first half of the session, and then market will probably go into defensive mode into the Trump Putin meetup.
yeah, I'm not. I am worried to be honest of that meeting, because uh, like both of them are clearly like very stubborn men, and like why would Putin give up here? Like he's clearly winning on the front line currently. Uh, Russia did like a massive. Uh, yeah, they won some territory recently.
Yep.
So yeah, so I am worried about that. I de-risked because of that yesterday and the open interest on alts being higher than BTC, but I rebought everything on the dump. And I'm not sure if maybe I should de-risk again. I don't know. Yeah,
I mean, that was a good timing for you to. I think you probably timed perfectly with like realizing some profit. And yeah, I mean the PPI, but yeah, let's maybe wait for Skew. But yeah, the PPI was definitely something that I think market was didn't see. So that's why this sudden repricing was coming, as well as because of the positioning. But yeah, I think Skew will wrap that up far better. But yeah, I mean market got pretty pretty nose heavy in terms of longs, hence the flush. And yeah, the news, the data was another catalyst for that. So it's always comes like this. These are walking hand in hand, let's say. And now I can see some tricks in BDC spot books. It's interesting.
Interesting.
So yeah, and hopefully you like your new place. See the
Yeah,
post of
bro,
it. It
this
looks
is a blessing.
amazing.
This is a blessing. Every day there is a trader or like crypto bros hanging out in my place. Like at this point, those guys don't even like
Just
call me. They just text
stepping, yeah.
or call the ring bell. Like, hey, bro, open the door. And like one of really good trade, maybe not really good traders, but a guy who's a good trader and really good investor for sure. Like he comes here, he stays with me for like 7 hours. Like last week I even went for a nap and he was still like trading in the living room.
Super
So
G. That's
I,
super G.
to be honest, like after living all my life with someone else, um, mm, or like with a girlfriend or something, finally being totally living on my own and having my own place the way I want, like it's super cool. I don't have to explain a
What do you
girl
do? Yeah.
why I am bringing friends over. They just come and we are having good time. We trade together, we laugh, we work. So yeah, like I'm creating like ultimate crypto trap house in Warsaw.
Yeah, it's like really the life of the crypto bros. I mean,
Yeah. Can't wait for the crazy on-chain season when all of us like watch the charts when the other crew is sleeping on like mattress or something.
how
Yeah,
long are you gonna stay there? Because I'm not too far away. I'm like an hour of travel or flight from
bro,
Warsaw.
like you can come over anytime you want. You can sleep at my apartment or yeah, like anytime you are welcome here. So I rented the place for a year. I could extend it. I'm not sure yet how long I will stay here because like I'm living here for almost 3 weeks. Yeah, on Monday it will be 3 weeks, and but I already feel like a bit of FOMO to go to Asia.
Oh
uh,
yeah,
yeah, but in the other hand, I really want to lock in the until the end of the year. There's a lot of stuff going on at Woo. There's a lot of stuff going at the market. So
at the market, true.
I'm rather not to waste any time. Just sit in front of my monitors and provide as much value to the company and to my portfolio as possible. And
Yeah,
here
I
I
think yeah, good
and here
mindset.
I have like a perfect setup. Like life can't get any better than that.
Yeah, no, I agree, and really tempting. So I'll consider this and see my schedule because yeah, next week is pretty busy for me, but then we'll see at beginning of September how this goes. And also, it's we talked about this in earlier streams that we're seeing like an atypical summer, I think, in terms of I mean, compared to maybe last summer was good for trading, aside some boring days, but the summer before 2023 was really, I think, a pathetic summer in terms of, trading. So this summer had, I think, like extremely good trading conditions, even for all. So I don't think we can't complain, and as the big players are coming returning from vacations, from the burgers and all over the world. I think September will be as entertaining as probably the whole summer was. So yeah, good times for us.
Yeah, I agree. This is really good. Uh, I mean, the summer is good. To be honest, like I'm glad there is some volatility,
Yeah,
and I'm not getting out of shape in terms of trading. Like, I check the charts probably like I look at them for like 10 hours per day or 12.
that's the
So
grind. That's the grind. Yeah,
yeah, but
familiar.
to be honest, like life can't get much better. Like The only thing I'm missing right now in my apartment is air condition. I need to
Okay,
I need to sort it out, and maybe a boxing bag, so I could just go boxing and still look at the charts. I got myself a projector, so I can now watch the candles in the living room on the big screen. So yeah,
that's
I
what you see on on X. Typical. Traders HQ. So that's, I think, yeah, every crypto degen's dream. Probably you're living right now.
I mean, I love life here. Like I'm bullish my life here. Seriously.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I have
I
a
can
really
understand it.
decent store of white monster too in my fridge. That's basically the only thing I have in the fridge. So yeah, gym
Nothing
is
else
like
needed.
literally 50 meters, like it's on the other side of the road. So I just go there for like hour and a half every day. So yeah,
Yeah, so that sounds super
that's
exciting.
good. Yeah.
And yeah, Warsaw, I think, such a beautiful city. So
Yeah, I mean
you can't complain,
the
honestly. I think.
neighborhood I'm living in is probably the worst in Warsaw. Like it has the 90s vibes, there are some like social apartments here. It's still safe. I don't feel like, let's say, when I walk at 1 a.m., I don't take my watch off my wrist. I feel still safe. But yeah, it's definitely, worse than the rest of the Warsaw, but really good traders and friends of mine live like, walkable distance from my place, like 5-10 minutes. So that was the reason I decided to move here.
Yeah, that's interesting to hear, because I didn't know there is such a community in Warsaw for for traders. But that's good to know.
I mean, there are mainly on-chain traders. Basically,
Yeah,
there is like, I don't know, 20 of us, maybe 25 people, who during the on-chain season are like really locked in. There is the one group chat that all of us work in the industry. And yeah, that's pretty much good. In Warsaw, actually, you have quite a few traders, also TradFi traders. I'm not that connected to all of them, but even before like Cryptomania 2020, there was a huge trading community of TradFi. And once the war broke in Ukraine, many Russian traders and Ukrainian traders came to Warsaw. Uh, so you actually have, I think, a few actively trading funds in Warsaw. Also, some prop trading firms. So it's quite interesting.
it's
Yeah.
interesting, and I need to build some network over there if it's that close. And I know Vienna has two, but I'll consider Warsaw since it's super close, and I love the city. So I've been there multiple times, and it's such a
Yeah.
lovely city.
Also, like, one of my talents, I think, is I connect with solid traders easily. Uh, like recently in Dubai, I met Bybit WSOT winners
Yeah.
from last year, and now we are really good friends. And they are coming to visit me and my friend, who's also a trader in Warsaw and in Wrocław. So yeah, like I think it gives you a huge advantage when you can talk to other traders, like because otherwise you feel like alone in life because you're kind of different than everyone else, I would say. Like it's hard for me at least, like when I completely out of touch with people who do exact the same what I do, and I just try to get to back normal life, and I hear people complaining that, oh, at the 9 to 5 they have a problem because someone from their team is rude. Like I don't know, I
Yeah.
can't like empathize with that since I don't have such experience.
No, that's you are. I think you are touching on a pretty important aspect of traders. Like life here, and the mental part of the game. Because, and I think this was also a topic on previous streams with Skew, that it's super important to lock in for a couple years probably to really master your fundamentals. But over time, and I recently been facing or struggling with like being or staying sharp and fresh in terms of like not mentally, because like it can be super dangerous to spend, I mean, like 10 plus hours in front of screens, right? And I had to realize this because there was a point when I was like literally making mistakes, and I had to, I journaled, and I had to look back on my things, and it was because of like lack of attention and focus. So I had to like structure my days, and I think that's a good advice for anyone facing this, or anyone who for who this rings a bell, that structure your day in a way that you are literally forced to move away from the screens. I mean, okay, the grind part is one thing. So till there's definitely there's gonna be like tough years, but after that, when especially when you're doing this for a living, or for as a business, you need to stay focused, and have your trading window, and also to preserve your life, your social life, and your life outside trading and crypto. It's super important to define and lock your trading window and the amount of time you spend inside the market. So that's just a good advice from my side. But of course, what you said, like there are periods when you lock in and you are literally 24/7 in front of the screens, because there's so many opportunities, and you
Yeah,
don't
I
want to be
agree with
underexposed. So yeah, that's
I'm way less experienced than you in Skew, but I see some of the stuff. Sometimes I share with you online my struggle, offline my struggles. Uh, yeah, I just find like when friends come over and we look at the charts together and laugh, like it's so much enjoyable. Like this is my favorite activity probably.
yeah. And you
But
can, yeah, you
my
can.
rule is like you need to go outside every day and do some proper workout. Like every day, I'm rather to go to the gym for like hour and a half, have high intensity of my workout, rather than to go like 2.5 hours, but 3 times a week. Go every day for an hour and a half. Do your stuff. It helps me so much to uh, have a rest, like a mental rest, and also it's good for your body.
100%, 100% increases the focus. Yeah, that's and even if you feel like a little bit sloppy, or just your head is heavy, then yeah, it's a good idea to have a 10 or 15 minutes walk, without phone and anything. That's extremely important. I mean, that's been a struggle lately for me, because it's so easy to get like super just um, glued to the screens. And yeah, that's definitely one thing to keep in mind. This is just really from coming from experience, because um, being falling into traps of like um, being too much in front of the screens, and losing the focus properly. So
Yeah,
also just sometimes to really sit out a couple days. So for instance, your systems, your rules are not clicking. You see that there is a voltage just dried up, and yeah, just really log out. You can come, maybe at the morning, and in the evenings you do your regular daily analysis and journal. But aside that, it's always healthy to step away, or maybe after winning days, or these kind of things. That's always worked for me.
yeah. I That's funny because like year and a half ago, my like condition of my body wasn't good. I wasn't like fat, but I was a little bit chubby, and I used to do a lot of sport. Like I was doing semi-professional wrestling for like 6 years, so I was really locked in, and my body was used to eat a lot because I was burning a lot of calories.
Yep.
And then when I stopped doing that and started just sitting on my ass and working, I gained some weight and so on. And I remembered like I met uh, my boss from Wu, and he told me I'm fat and I should get into the shape. Since then, I started to working out, and now I'm really ripped off, like really good body condition. But that's kind of like that's why I love crypto. Like in a normal company, you couldn't say your employee that he's fat and he should get into shape, and that was literally the reason why decide, okay, I need to change it. Like it was like one sentence that we talk. Like we look at each other. He says, he goes like, "Oh yeah, man, you're fat, by the way."
But I mean, yeah, it was probably like more like a friendly advice. So yeah, I can totally
Yeah, yeah,
relate
yeah.
to this.
Yeah, I mean, it was, but you know what I mean. Like, it's good. It's good. You need to have such people around you.
True, true,
I'm
so
not
true.
sure if.
Yes, Q might
Uh,
be off today, so yeah, this might be a short round. But at least I think those who are listening to us can take these mental, these advices in terms of mental freshness.
yeah, I mean, if you want to show something on the chart, go ahead. I share my, Degen stuff usually on Tuesdays during the
Yeah, I
Degen.
know, I know.
So yeah, we are up to date with this. Yeah. Also, with such a volatile market in terms of majors, like this is not the on-chain season.
Yep, that's agreed. I'll see if I can share my screen real quick and just maybe a summary what happened this week.
Yeah.
Mm, let's see. Because I need to, yeah, bear with me for a sec. Because yeah, Brave is again like blocking everything for me. Okay. Let's see. Such a nice plain voice. I've got to quit for a second to allow the change rights. So I'll be back in a sec.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So we are now alone. Give Mr. Robot a second, and he will be back with his screens. He needs to change the rights in his. Yeah. All right. He's back to this.
Should be back. Do you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah. You are. You are.
All right, cool. Getting them slowly. Now let's see if it works. Let's see if it works. Is it visible?
Yeah. I
Okay,
heard it.
there it is.
Yeah. Here we go.
Yeah, there we go. All right, cool, cool. So let's see a quick look at the higher time frame. I'm going to be focusing mostly on BTC, just a quick
Yeah,
overview in the week, what we see here. So, you know,
that's a nasty liquidity.
yep, yep. So yeah, you know, as you can see here, we've swept all-time high with a pretty nice move. I think, you know, all the way from, as I think, you know, referring back to Skew's post. So it was such a move, such a classic move from BTC, you know, like retesting the previous all-time high, and then yeah, like just pushing it with the momentum all the way um to this one. So from the 14th of July high, and yeah, basically taking the liquidity. So like what do we see here at the moment is basically like sweeping both sides of, you know, Monday's range. You can see it pretty clear here. I have a fib on, but yeah, you can see Monday low and Monday high. There's a pretty nice sweep on both ends. So I mean that's a classic move. You know, traders should study deeper always, like how Mondays trim. You know, Monday is always like setting the tone for the week in terms of, you know, options flows. Big players are coming back to their desks and rebalancing their positions. So it's always like a reference for the week. So if, you know, if we accept outside, you know, if we accept trading outside Monday's range, that's always indicative to refer to that value that Monday brings. Usually with almost the, you know, the highest volume. Of course, not this time because we have pretty volatile days, not just Monday, but as well as, you know, Wednesday when we swept the all-time high, and then, you know, another sweep from the daily open. Basically, yesterday was just, you know, a 5% correction based off of mostly of the PPI data, as we talked about, right? So it was unexpectedly hot, the PPI, even though CPI is like cooling or stagnating. But PPI was, I think, caught off guard most of market participants. And this was super interesting because if we go to the heat, where's the heat map? Hold on, there it is. So this one as well, having pretty similar template as Q's using. Right. So here you can see it was like, yeah, basically 2 a.m. UTC. That's the daily open in my time zone. Um, there was like you know, a clear front running of the PPI data release, right? So even here, 2:30 p.m. when the PPI was released, if we zoom in here, 1 second. Somewhat obvious, that's always like, you know, insider trading is not new in the markets. Somebody was like quoting like super huge, I'm not sure if I can find the coding here, should be somewhere up there. Yeah, you can see it was like almost 2k BTC short filled right before PPI. So this was, yeah, such a clear sign of something is like, you know, that volatility is gonna, you know, shake up things. And basically ever since, you know, BTC is like consolidating here ever since the PPI flush. And if you look at here in high block, if I was looking at this in the morning, so high block, I really like high blocks. There's like a lot of features they offer in terms of, you know, you can derive the biggest OI level for the week for certain. I think for Bybit and Binance as well, which can also provide you extremely good guides. But what I would highlight here is, you know, this. So on the flush post PPI, see the limit order count here. So basically, this is on level. So if we zoom out, this is I always refer back to this. This is not a system, but it's always like a nice confluence. Like, you know, looking at the limit order count here. So this is on levels which we haven't seen since probably, yeah, here 14th of June, which also marked like a local bottom here. I think around 103. Yeah, that's when we basically dipped from 110 to 103. And as you can see, there was a really nice bounce from here on, like
Interesting.
5% bounce. So yeah, that's always like a pretty nice thing to watch if you have access to this. But yeah, this means like passive buyers like basically buying the dip here, which is totally reasonable. And we can also see that here on the on the order book depth is pretty thick in this area, above like 117 to like in an average 118, let's say. And the current setup is on lower time frame. It's pretty nice to see, like there's a constant quoting here from passive buyers above the daily open. So we need to see this. The upcoming New York session is going to be key here, because, like I mentioned, with a decent close today, we can see a pretty nice weekend ahead for alts. But I think a lot depends from today's close. So yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of this week's moves. Pretty friendly or favorable conditions for both for low time players and I think for higher time frame players as well. Let me zoom out on this just to see, the flush here, which is basically, interesting. Because I still see like OI is still elevated. A lot of positions obviously closed on this flush post PPI, but I still think there might be a lag lower around the monthly open level probably. For a sec, this is monthly open around 115, 80, 800. That's basically the level I would be watching. Also, I think this is the 4-hour 200 EMA. So this zone somewhere here is where I would be looking for maybe higher time frame longs. If we extend this value area, let's see the levels on this. Maybe it's also possible to like wick into this liquid, because there's a lot of untested area here, right? And we can also take this as a huge range when you look at this with a false breakout or a false breakout. So that's, I think, like pretty clean. And currently we are almost at mid range if we are looking at this.
Yeah, very hard to position.
Yeah,
here.
exactly. So I wouldn't be keen on taking long-term positions off these levels. Of course, intraday moves are, I think, are on the table for sure, as always. But I think for other opportunities, this zone between the 200 EMA on the 4-hour. Let's move here. To the 4-hour. This zone would be probably something where I would be looking for like maybe like either play for around 120, for the other side of the range. If we hit these levels around 115 plus minus 1,000, or if we get a bounce like somewhere around here, but we are still in the upper range of Monday, because we can also play a range in a range scenario, as you can see here. So somewhere in this zone. That could be also, I think, a decent setup for short down into liquidity here. given it's Friday, I don't think it will play out immediately, but definitely, these would be the main levels. I would be setting some alerts to check back on them throughout the weekend, more or less.
Yeah, I mean, I expect that I don't have data to back up this statement, but I expect quite a bit volatility tonight, and then like very choppy weekend.
Agreed, indeed. I mean, also like ETH. So the bounce from ETH, but yeah, it's I think it's ETH season right now, or ETH mania, rather than a full broad alt season, as I think many traders would be favor or would favor. But yeah, this is also like a pretty nice setup. It respected the fast EMAs on the 4 hour, and the bounce is like visibly stronger compared to BTC so far, and that was such a high volume flush. So yeah, I mean, ETH is clean, but definitely some froth here, some steam. Let's see, ETH on the weekly must be monster candle on the weekly. Oops. Let's remove these. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like not above average volume on Binance. I haven't checked the aggregate ETH chart, but yeah, nice follow through. And yeah, I mean, it's very interesting that we have a flat week. That's not something you see often in crypto. Flat weekly candle open level. Oops. It's definitely something to mark. Oops. How did I end up here? Yeah, that's definitely something I would note for a sweep somewhere in the future. Obviously not right away, but definitely this zone between yearly open and this untested weekly open would be something I would be looking for in case of a pullback for ETH. Because yeah, that's such a
3,300.
momentum run. Yeah,
Like some people on crypto Twitter would go nuts about it, to be fair.
100%. Yeah, that's true. ETH, I mean, yeah, and such a strong momentum so far, which is no surprise, right? Given the just have a look at here on ETH is ETF flows. So yeah, we can see like there was like a billion-day inflow for ETH as well. That's unprecedented so far. That's the highest inflow ETH ever had, and that's definitely fueling the run here. It's very similar to, I think, when BTC had its first real ETF run back last year. Not here, but here. Yeah. So basically, it's probably not the right chart. Yeah, there is some drawing left on this for some study, probably for some CPI or FOMC study. But yeah, where is it? Yep. So this one is like that I recon. Here was the ETF launch mid-January, and then the first leg, basically the first ETF-driven leg, is really because that happened already with pretty huge inflows, and yeah, ETH is I think the first time getting like proper institutional bid, and you cannot hide this data, right, from other market participants. Hence, it was just constant fueling. Because yeah, I mean, even I was surprised on the scale of this move by ETH.
I was not. If season. Uh,
Yeah,
I've been saying that since like 2300, I think, and I went balls deep into ETH at like 2700, something like that.
I mean, like the move from the tariff lows is just insane. That's
Yeah,
definitely such a momentum. Yeah, ETH. We talked a lot about ETH, and we were shitting on ETH. Literally, it was almost guaranteed. So when ETH gets this sort of bid, it's just a face ripping rally, and I don't think we are. You know, here for ETH, the obvious target is previous all time highs, right? That's ETH will go there. I'm super confident about this. I expect this to fail for first, for with like I don't know, like some sort of overextension, similar to what we have seen for BTC, because the previous all-time high was around 123.2, and it pushed up to the market supply. Also, Skew mentioned it was 125. And yeah, I think it reverted from 124.5 approximately. So I can expect something similar from ETH, like maybe pushing up to slightly above 5k approximately, and then pulling back before, because if ETH wants to see like a follow through, it needs to gap through this all-time high level, right? And I don't think for first we're going to see that. I might be wrong, because it might have you know such a mania, but it's already way overextended. So for first, I would say if it will probably sweep, maybe push higher to trap some late longs, and then maybe after some consolidation, it will be just simply like something like this to come back, maybe retest this level consolidate, and then gap through. So that's maybe something I would be looking for if I would be trading ETH. But I'll see, because I've got like defined systems for how to trade like all-time high or near all-time high, and also price discovery areas. But I'll see if I touch an ETH. So I'm just so as you know, I'm mostly specialized in BTC only.
yeah, yeah. Also, like what I think it's worth to mention, hate is the best fuel for further rally. Uh, like everyone went silent when ETH started outperforming, I think,
True.
and like with the constant TradFi beat, I see a world where it goes higher and higher. Uh, like I'm still bullish here, I would say. Like obviously it's a zone where you know it's getting hot, but it isn't something bad. I mean, like it can go way, way higher before a massive, changing the trend. Also, I was very impressed how strong Eve was yesterday during the flash crash.
Correct. It
That
was way stronger than BTC. Yeah,
the, the,
it's
the beat on Eve was insane, insane. I read this morning a tweet about the Tom Lee, his name is. Like he said, there are moments when you can buy a lot of an asset without in without impacting the price badly. And I think he maybe was waiting for such a liquidation cascade just to bid. And considering I don't know anything about order books, I promise, I swear I will learn how order book flow works during bear market. But that's how it looked to me yesterday. The bid was insane on ETH.
I haven't looked especially, or I haven't looked at ETH's order book yet. I mean, we can take a look at it. Maybe, but that's one thing I was looking yesterday too. It was, I can tell you how much it was yesterday. One second. Mm, did a snapshot intraday sometime. Need to find this. Give me a second. Yeah, no, it was almost the same. yesterday. But yeah, that's I mean that's a decent number. That's like a decent flush. These flushes are not so similar to what we have seen in during previous cycles, because we have got so different underlying liquidity seeking and flowing into the market. So those like 20% plus candles, those are obviously for alts it's different. Liquidity is far more fragile there. Right now it's ETH only, but I mean, what was the amount? What was the pullback on ETH? Let me see. It was like just the scale. I'm curious. Yeah, I mean, 7% from top to bottom. That's for ETH. I think in previous cycles it was such a tiny dip. We have had like, I mean, this last year. Yeah, this was like 20% day. Yeah, but even maybe after, let's see, after a overextended trend. Yeah, that was one day. I don't know. I'm trying to find a proper example when there was an overextended move, and well, yeah, maybe this one that was like 12%. So this shows the demand underneath in current market for ETH, definitely, for sure. Yeah. What else I wanted to look at? Yeah, this one too. Like 24-hour volume traded for ETH and BTC. No surprise here, right? But that's insane. That's not often again you see this, like almost twice the volume on ETH. That's really tough. Let's see funding rate. Yeah, pump, of course, back then. But right now it's yeah. So I think focus stays on ETH and BTC mostly. What BTC is doing in a lower time frame? Let's see. Yeah, such a yeah. What a bounce from ETH. Yeah. Almost went for proper retest of this. Yeah, that's also another thing I would be a good thing to watch for you guys. So the wicks are more often than not are getting failed, as you can see here. But yeah, I mean, the instant reaction here was like basically going back to this order block, this hourly order block. Excuse me. Yeah, this one. Yeah, that's almost into this 15-minute, but could not reach. Yeah, I mean that's such a yeah. That shows the demand here actually. Here's the flush, and then the bounce basically retracing the whole flush. So that's why and compared to BTC, that's insane. So BTC, as you can see, BTC could not even. Let me check. Here was the PPI flush. Yeah. Basically, yeah, BTC went here. It's a little bit messy, but you can see here it went to the 50%, or retraced only 50% of the dump, and still, this level, yeah, the week. Basically, we are at the weekly open level, right? So that's intraday today. What we need to be flipping. Well, I remove these. Oh. currently, yeah, there is a very visible algo working on here. There is a gray line here, which is the session VWAP, and as price, just broke the daily initial bonus here. There's getting a constant bid, like where it is here and here. Also, like around yesterday's opening range high throughout New York session. Here you can see the opening range high here and the low here. This is again, so the first 30-minute candle, let's say, or the first 30-minute price action lows and highs for New York sessions are super key levels on lower time frame intraday. So you can build entire studies around these levels, how they act post New York close, throughout New York session, trends and moves usually, and algos are using these levels as key references together with VWAP. So that's also something, we talked a lot about this with Skew, to take into account for your lower time frame systems and watch for reactions. Today's market is heavily algo driven. So that's my mostly one of my key advice for you guys to study the reactions when it comes to BTC and for ETH as well. So and yeah, I think ETH with the appearing institutional flows will become a really tempting asset to trade intraday, because obviously could be a BTC beta play with slightly bigger maybe, like, this needs to be studied, the ratio, the correlation compared to BTC, how on which days and how many times it's producing bigger moves compared to BTC. Because if it does, what matters for us traders is the moves. So it doesn't matter really the direction, the intraday direction, but the size of the move is what you can exploit for your systems. Yeah, ETH could be like maybe 1.3 times higher if it's producing like from bigger moves than BTC, like 1.2 or 1.4 times higher moves. Then it's worth to look at the correlation data there. All right, yeah. So that's pretty much it. We are top of the hour, so maybe a good time to recap.
Yeah, I think we can wrap it up here. Almost an hour. Thank you very much, Richard, for leading it today.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Yeah. Once again, thank you, and talk to you next week.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was a pleasure, and take care, guys. Have a
Take care.
profitable weekend.